Hey all, Shai Tunde here, founder of Ken Blue, the business growth consultancy, helping service-based businesses and their owners who are passionate about people to make more impact and more income. This is our weekly vlog, and yes, we've made it another week in business. And as usual, I just wanted to share a bit of what we've gotten up to this week. Please feel free to like, comment and subscribe. But without further ado, let's get into it. So let's start talking highlights, because this week has been an interesting one. As usual, we've had the opportunity to move the needle forward in our growth. One of the highlights this week is connected to some of the highlights I've mentioned in the past about finance, but we finally completed some of our budgets. Budgets aren't fun or sexy, but they provide a lot of clarity for how the finances need to be set out in the business. I won't bore you with the details, but each department within the business was able to get their own budget for staff members. And clearly they were waiting for it, because Uche and Elizabeth were able to fill out their vacancies immediately. As a part of this, we now have our very own funnel building team. And I am so happy about this, especially since Elizabeth has so many ideas for ads and campaigns that we can run. But previously, we didn't have enough resources and help to get the designs done, to get the copy done in time to launch the campaigns when we wanted to. But now we can do it at high quality and really quickly. And that's a big win for us. Another fun highlight of the week was me understanding in real time the whole hype about R&D, research and development. I heard about companies who sink millions into it, but I didn't really get the point, right? Unless you're building a tech business or a product business, I didn't see the point for R&D really. But with the team I have now, a lot of what needs to be done isn't in my hands anymore. That now means my hands are empty to record content, make new business connections and learn. And this week I've been heavy on the learning. I've been looking into new opportunities and experimenting with utilizing AI, paying for a wide range of AI software to help with AI content, videos, automations, and also checking out new features from the developers of Code Blue. It's been fun to learn and formulate new ways to elevate our business and our client experience using AI. This clone voice feature on 11 Labs made a cadence perfect version of my voice. So much so, the team struggled to tell us apart, and it was a little bit scary. Another thing we did this week in connection with content was put together a video editing team. Across the business, we have at least 4 video editors working on various projects and for various clients. But I was still editing my own videos, partially because I can be very picky about how I show up on camera, but mainly because I didn't want to add any more work to other people's plate. But in favor, our social media manager pulled me to the side and said I wasn't letting her do her job properly. As a result, we identified one of our main barriers, and that was the fact that I still edit the videos. So we put together 3 great editors who are now chasing me for video content to edit. What a relief. Another highlight was some wedding bells that are going off. One of our team members, someone very vital to us making money I might add, was off for a week because they went to get married. And our team couldn't be happier. The team was so happy that when they came back, instead of working immediately, there was a nice long chinwag about the wedding, and we got to see some beautiful pictures of the new beautiful couple. Congrats to you guys. You know who you are. Last highlight is from Deborah. I'm going to call her out on this one. She's a foodie along with a few other of us in the business. And I was in central London to work and meet a client. So I went to an expensive hotel to get some work done while I was waiting. As you do. I decided to ask Deborah to choose my lunch for me. She's a foodie, right? I sent her the menu and it all went downhill from there. I won't say too much, but let's just say there was a lot of stomach aches and laughter. And it's safe to say I won't be asking Deborah again. All in all, it's been a great week. So, on today's Concept Corner, I'm going to try and provide a slightly different perspective on the concept and the real benefits of niching. We've all done it, especially in the early days. We keep things open. We say yes to anyone who will work with us. We tell ourselves it's about staying flexible, keeping our options wide open, and trying to reach more people. But the reality is staying broad rarely makes us more approachable. To be honest, it makes us harder to remember. The message gets fuzzy, the offer gets vague. What are you really doing? Who are you really helping? And we find ourselves stretched across so many different needs, we're not really connecting with anyone. That's the fear a lot of us have if we niche. We'll lose opportunities, we'll lose money, how are we going to grow? But the truth is, without focus, the opportunities we attract are often misaligned. We end up working harder for clients who don't quite get us, and then we drift further from the work we actually want to be known for. When we focus on a specific group, a type of person, a type of business, an industry, a shared problem, then something shifts. People start to feel like we're speaking directly to them. The message hits closer home. The examples sound familiar. The tone feels personal. And when people feel understood, they pay attention. They stay longer. They trust deeper. Niching doesn't mean we shut others out. Now it feels like that, but that's not what it means. It means the people we are meant to serve get the spotlight. And that spotlight builds connection that generic messaging just doesn't. It makes space for resonance. And resonance is what builds a brand that lasts. The real beauty of getting specific is that the people you focus on and you niche for begin to advocate for you. Not because they're told to, not because they're incentivized, but because they feel seen. It's part of my concept of compassionate sales. They feel like you care, and hopefully you do. And people who feel seen and feel cared for, are more likely to share that experience. And furthermore, more likely to recommend it. That's when your referrals grow without being forced. When your name comes up in rooms that you haven't even entered. That's when your service starts to carry weight in communities you actually care about. If you're constantly talking to everyone, you'll keep just attracting anyone. That's how you end up working in spaces you didn't mean to, with businesses that don't truly align. It's not always just about the money. And it's not because you're doing bad work, it's because the work you're doing doesn't reflect the direction you want to go, because you're not attracting the right people. Niching isn't about exclusion, it's about depth. It's about creating something so tailored, so relevant, so well matched to the people you want to help, they naturally become a part of the mission. And this makes sales easier to close. We don't niche to limit opportunity, we niche to multiply meaning. And when we do it well, we build businesses that are not just profitable, but known, respected, and remembered. So time to share some thoughts of the week. This week I've had some busy thoughts, but one of the things I've been thinking about a lot is feedback. I wrote an article recently about how complaints are good for business and how they are a great tool to review what you're offering, how it's working, and how it's received by your client. It was a really good take, and I think when it's released, it will help a lot of small businesses and business owners to readjust their mindset towards criticism and feedback, which is really a tool to help us all grow. The thing is, after I wrote it, I remember the question I've always had lingering in the back of my mind. How many times must something be an issue before we change it? I always like to make things simple for myself when I want to explain, right? So, if I had a restaurant that made chicken katsu curry and 50 people bought it this week, how many people need to mention that it needs more salt before I make that change? 1? 10? 20? I don't have an answer, but I feel that not having an answer can impact our decision making either way. I'm sure there are many business owners out there who have changed things immediately after being given one piece of feedback. But how practical is that if you keep changing things every week? Because different clients have different opinions. And you know what they say, the customer is always right. But a part of me feels like, actually, maybe the customer isn't wrong, they're just not the right customer for you. And I know that's hard to hear because we don't want to lose customers. And we're here to serve our customers and satisfy the needs that they've presented in the way they presented it. But again, not every customer is your customer. I can't change my recipe for chicken katsu curry per person, unless they're paying a premium price for that. So what do, right? I'm not saying we have to ignore the feedback. That would be foolish. But I think where we can, we make adjustments to accommodate our clients' needs, but also within the allocated budget for each project or client. But I don't think we should change how our services are delivered every time they're challenged, especially in a time where people like to complain. They like to express discomfort at every turn. And even less sinister, everybody has different tastes and different ways of doing things. I don't know a lot of answers, and I wasn't planning to give you any answers anyway, to be fair. But these are just my thoughts. Feel free to comment. How many customers or clients have to have an issue with something before you make a change? So, as I've said, we've had another great week. I'm hoping everyone enjoyed the video. I hope it provoked some thought and you have at least one thing you can take away from it. Till next time, from myself and my team, have a great one.